The Parish, like other Left 4 Dead 2 campaigns, is filled with hidden details and developer oversights. Today I'll be walking through the Parish without being disturbed by these little pests. No infected, just exploring. Exploring this waterfront. The Parish itself was based on New Orleans, Louisiana. In the opening scene, we see Jules Fresh Crawfish, a famous crawfish seller in the Parish. We'll talk more about this later. We can also see the boat the survivors traveled with is called Lanyap. This is a Cajun French word, a language also used in New Orleans, meaning a little extra, often used to describe something good or receiving something for free. I mean, survivors didn't pay for this boat ride, right? So, Lanyap, I guess. Now, upon deploying my boy Coach into this place, we are greeted by a heartfelt military sign. On the far left, we see a ferry. Now I can only assume maybe some passengers of this boat got the green flu and the military heard the word infected and bombed the entire place. Is this a Titanic reference? You know what? Maybe the military didn't shoot it after all. Further down our path on the left, we see CEDA body bags with biohazard signs on them. These are people that probably got gunned down at this checkpoint if CEDA thought they were infected. I went to check out some newspapers, and some of these news outlets may be parodies of real life ones. The City Times is probably a parody of the New York Times, Daily Edition could be Time, and the Urban Tribune, established in 1924, News for the People. I am not too certain, so if you guys have an idea, feel free to let me know. And if we look closely at this newspaper box, it has a picture of a zombie on it, meaning Rochelle is still actively reporting on this. And as you can see, she's not with me, so she must be locked in at work. On the far right of this place, we got another look of Jules Fresh Crawfish. We can also see where his seafood gets struck and stored. If you're unaware, New Orleans is very famous for its seafood dishes, so they gotta find a way to bring the produce in. Just next to it, we can see a sign here. Very industrial. These are called ghost signs, I think. I really can't read what it says, but signs like these exist in various forms in real life. You can tell Val was really trying to get it right here. And before heading to the waterfront markets, we can also see another ghost sign just right above the waterfront market sign. Just taking a few steps in, we can see the residents of this place. Weirdly enough, these models don't have any blood beneath them for some reason. I found another ghost sign, but this time we can actually read it. It says, O'Reilly & Co. Limited, Electrical Wholesale Distributors. These signs are very common in New Orleans, so it makes sense that we see them a lot in game 2. A truck on the street has crashed here, and its engine is still smoking. But the thing is, how did this truck even get here if it doesn't even have an interior? There's a French sign on the left saying Bienville. I searched out what Bienville means and I shit you not, Bienville refers to Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne de Bienville, a prominent figure in French colonial history and also the name of a place. He was a key figure in the colonization of Louisiana and found in New Orleans. Additionally, Bienville can refer to a parish and a village in Louisiana. Here's an unrelated detail too I noticed. In the game Red Dead Redemption 2, there's a state called Lemoyne, and in that state there's a big town called Saint Denis. That town is also based on New Orleans. Further up this ramp, we see a sign saying fresh crab. Again, tying back to what I said about New Orleans and seafood. And on the inside of this house, I noticed a detail that nearly made my brain explode. The sun rays glaring through this window make dust particles visible. This game was released in 2009, might I add. And whoever painted this cream colored wall white needs to be fired, because what the fuck were they even trying to achieve here? Further down the road, we see a car crash. Sadly, the impact of the hit made the driver fly out of the vehicle, I assume. What I don't get is, how did this car even crash like this? It's not like the driver was in a head-on collision with the bus. He crashed into the back of the bus. But how did the left side of the car get messed up, but not the front? Also, the blood of the driver is allergic to my flashlights. After seeing all those interesting details, I needed a break. So I went to Le Café to cool off. I checked out their menu, they had various sandwiches and of course, seafood. Sadly, there was no one to attend to me. I wonder why. I met up with my very real friends and we danced to some music. I rated the bar 4 out of 5 because the staff seemed dead and they left me to help myself out. Here's something I never knew though. Going through the back door of this bar will lead you to the back alley. I have never opened this door before. Something unique about this level is that there are 2 routes to the back alley, but only one is accessible during the playthrough, meaning Valve added alternate routes when you randomly played, most likely to increase replayability. At the end of the same street, we can also see the next level. Making our way through the back alley, we see red biohazard bags. probably containing zombie body parts. It is crazy to think some zombies were respectfully put in body bags and others were probably just like chopped up and put in biohazard trash bags, bro. Also, shout out to this driver for perfectly parking into the spot without scratching or damaging the truck. I do not know how you do that. I also think it's ironic that all these zombie bags are in the back of this kitchen, almost insinuating that the chefs and cooks of this restaurant add zombie meat to their dishes. Now, obviously I'm blowing it out of proportions. Of course this isn't true, but it would explain why it has no customers though. Their kitchen freezer also has a dead zombie in it. But this death almost feels like a cold-blooded kill, like it was done on purpose. And who keeps painting these walls white? Pause. Let's head to the save zone to rest because we've got a park to explore. Ooh. How did he end up here? How does someone end up dead in a save zone? And considering the fact he has a cloth over him, means he must have had other people with him, right? Before leaving the save zone, we see writings on the walls from previous survivors. It's a good thing to know the walls have become the new Twitter of the Left 4 Dead 2 universe. It seems the green flu has created a divide between the survivors because some people believe carriers should be eliminated and that people should have faith in the military, and others believe carriers shouldn't be killed because at the end of the day, they're still human. And yeah, there are people who don't believe carriers even exist, and people who also love zombies. Look, it's good to see that there are different perspectives is what I'm saying. Upon leaving the save zone, we can see it was created in a place called Leclerc's Voodoo Shop, established in 1914. But nothing in this save zone indicates that they had anything related to voodoo. If anything, it looks like your average 7-Eleven. On the outside, we see another crashed car. I still don't know how this car crashed like this. Anyways, further down we see a military vehicle, yes, with inverted door numbers. We saw a lot of these in Dark Carnival. I still don't know what the inverted number symbolizes. There's also an infected body pile here with blood beneath them. I honestly think the military may have lined these people up and shot them, considering how reckless they are. But I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Right beside those bodies, we see a portable toilet, and it's called Sweet Relief. Where do I even begin? Heading into the park, we see another Bienville sign. In this park, there are 3 main things to point out, starting with the bathroom. A cool detail is that the men's bathrooms have urinals and women's don't. Both bathrooms were also squeaky clean though, so shout out to whoever stays cleaning these. The second main thing is this thing. I don't remember the name for this thing. Not really much to comment on here. Looks like a cool place to relax, I guess. But the main attraction is in the center of the park. We see a horse statue. Now unfortunately, I don't know the symbolism behind this horse. I tried checking online. It could be a reference to this Andrew Jackson statue, but there's no one on this horse, so I don't know. If any of you guys know, just feel free to let me know down below. After enjoying our visit to the park, we see the frustration of the people in graphical form. Where is Sida? More body piles. This place I assume is a military checkpoint before an evac station. Everyone stays in line and they are let in one by one after checking their appearance and health. There's also a military sign here that warns people against doing anything stupid. There's a ton of luggage here, which makes sense. A lot of people would want to carry their belongings and necessities. And these 2 chairs, you may ask? I have no clue. I guess some people just got tired of standing in line. Looking at this scene, it almost looks like everyone here on the line tried rushing in and all got shot. I mean, the warning sign does say don't run directly at personnel. But notice how none of the bodies made it past this gate. It could mean that the gate was locked when they tried rushing in. But the real question was, why the hurry? I mean, yeah, I understand there's a green flu and everything, but what made them feel the need to run or panic? Or maybe they all turned and then were shot. Everything is speculation. But I tell you, they really messed up some of these folks, bro. Like, they ain't had to do some of them like this. Let's head into the trailer. I think the whole purpose of this trailer is to get tested. Hence why the alarm will trigger if you're not given clearance to leave, but you still decide to. I mean, there's literally a paper at the entrance that states that. But we don't care about the rules or rents. Yo, bro, are you sure that offer is still up? Behind this fence, we see military vehicles and body bags. Now, I think it'd be safe to assume that people in those body bags were people that left the trailer without clearance. Maybe they were just zombies that actually turned. At this seat at checkpoints, we see 2 fellas in the hazmat suits. But the amount of blood here doesn't seem like they got bitten. In fact, I think they were shot. Probably by the military, but why? That's because they were infected. If we decide to ignore the arrows, it leads us to this bus parked in front of a white garage door made out of bricks. As we continue following the arrows, we see 3 bodies. Now I'm picturing an image in my head, And please keep in mind, this is all speculation. There is no proof or evidence behind any of this. I believe 3 people exited the trailer without clearance, infected the hazmat people, and ran as far as they could before getting shot down. Now, the people waiting on the line outside heard all this commotion and started panicking. They tried to rush in and they were all instantly gunned down. To the left of the bus station, there are tons of body bags, meaning a lot of people got gunned down. Okay, let me turn off this alarm, and I have to head into this bus right now because my bus is about to arrive soon. In the bus station, there is a barricaded room that says restrooms, but there aren't actually any restrooms in here. I waited at the bus station for a while to get a ride, but no one ever came. I wonder why. Please don't tell me that's the same damaged car model. Wow, are you aware you could have made like multiple damaged car models? You ain't have to reuse the same one like 3 times now. Before reaching our crib for the day, I found another white garage door made out of bricks. What is going on here? This safe zone has body piles, but I don't know why. Maybe the military was cooking something in there. Walking under this freeway takes us to the residential area of this city. Let's make a quick stop at this convenience store. Looking in, we can see the shelves are empty as expected, and the shop owner, you may ask, I mean, at least he doesn't have to worry about taxes. On the other side of the street, we can find some posters. One of them is for losing weight. Lose weight now. Why are they commanding us to lose weight? No calorie counting, never feel hungry, amazing results fast, overseen by actual, I don't know what that says, maybe WD, I don't know what that means. Lose unwanted inches around your waist, eat everything you want. The next poster is about a lost cat. I can't really read much of what it says, except Uggy and if found, call 555-6199. Reward money. And the last poster is an apartment ad. Rent for $800. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, newly renovated wood floors, new-ish appliances, and covered parking. Call Nick 555-3145 after 6 p.m. Nick is running his shit out here now, bro. Anyways, going up these stairs, we see a house full of dead zombies. I really don't know what could have been the cause of this. Maybe the military or a group of survivors killed them, but it's just the fact they are all packed in this building for some reason. Further on, we have to trespass into our neighbor's backyard. Sadly, my buddy Thomas wasn't around. He went to get milk before the grain flu and he just never returned. In this place, you can actually see the outside of the map. For rent. Nick, was it you that's been putting up all these for rent signs all this time? Up this road, we finally see this damaged car model being used appropriately. Let's go. Let's just ignore the fact that the vehicles aren't touching and the van suffered no damage for some reason. When I see bodies like this, I'm never convinced that a human didn't body them. Nick, no one out here is looking for an apartment to stay in, okay? Making our way to the back of this house, your guess is as good as mine. There's a crashed helicopter in this neighborhood, but there are only 3 ways it could have crashed. The military shot it down for whatever reason, someone in the heli turned and killed everyone in it, or the pilot was just terrible at flying. Or maybe the helicopter just malfunctioned, who knows. A lot of the houses have been bombed and burned down, but why? Like, there are no dead bodies in the debris of the house, so who are they targeting? And these houses still have squeaky clean toilets. I'm telling you, that janitor did not play. Over here we see a group of zombies that were trying to maybe get past this barricade. And onto the left of them, on top of this RV, there's a chair. Meaning someone must have been aura farming up here and killing the zombies down there. But on the other side, we can see some zombies still made it through. So I guess his fate has already been established. In the house beside this mess, we find more writings on the wall. Sida abandoned us, the army fenced us up. We're not sick. If you can read this, the military cut us off. We have been left to die. It's starting to become apparent to the people that the military are the real enemies and the green flu isn't. That's a fucking lie. Making our way through this house leads us outside to the car auctioning building, and we can actually see what car was being put for auction over there. Here we see this badass. Just like the one in Dark Carnival, he bodied all the zombies in the sewer with just his chrome shotgun before finally accepting his fate. An absolutely insane detail I don't think I've seen. Heading up this ladder takes us to the back of the car auctioning building, and this is where they store their cars. And let me say, these people are terrible at parking, man. The street outside of this parking lot confuses me, because how did 2 trucks just happen to perfectly block the road? Like, you can't tell me this wasn't orchestrated, bro. Up on the freeway, the military bombed some zombies. The only actual military presence we see in this campaign are all just fighter jets and rescue, I guess. And we can also tell this ambulance fucked up because you're meant to be saving lives, not taking them. They don't split this man into 2, holy. Time for us to make our way into the cemetery, man. The cemetery may seem boring, but there are a few things to note. This cemetery is based on the real-life St. Louis cemetery, but in-game it's called St. Roche's. Historically, this cemetery was known for grave robbing, which explains why some of the graves were broken. Notice how the cemeteries are elevated. This is because New Orleans has high water levels, so in order to combat this, they raised the grave sites. In the center of the cemetery, there's also a monument. I unfortunately don't know what this symbolizes or where it's from, so if you guys also know, feel free to let me know. And also let me know if there are any other details about the parish I may have missed. Alright, we're done for the day over here, people. Let's head into the safe zone and rest up. In this safe room, we can actually see various opinions and perspectives on the situation. Like, this back alley here looks beautiful. The details, the buildings and fountains, they really all fit together perfectly. And in this section of the campaign is where survivors start getting bombed much more often. In the office in this building, we see a painting. It looks like Arizona or something. I don't know what this painting is. Here is one of my favorite views of the parish. It looks so peaceful without the infected and the bombing. Living here must have been nice. Anyways, down the street, we can see whoever operated this vehicle was driving over zombies with zero remorse. This street is also a one-way street, so we can tell a driver here was driving the wrong direction and maybe to like get away from something, and as a result crashed into this other car. And yeah, the damaged car model is back, but again, the other car didn't suffer any damage whatsoever. Jules' fresh crawfish makes a return to on the street, so he must be popular out here if he has multiple chains, right? Anyways, it's time for me to go meet my very real friends in this jazz club. This jazz club features a lot of seating, drinks, pool tables, a piano for performers, this bustling detail, and a lot of fucking zombies, and flies too. 3 out of 5 for cleanliness. After I chat about the political and economic state of the world right now, I went off on my way. Would anyone like to explain why this electrical box has padlocks on both shits? Like, they aren't even padlocking anything here. Down this highway, we see some dead zombies. And finally, the person has been painting these walls finally painted the right wall the right color, man. I think I can die peacefully now. Don't mind me invading the privacy of the residents here. Before leaving this building, I heard a very weird sound. I really don't know what that's about. There are no infected in this world. Would you look at this view, man? Got the skyline and everything. The red hair has to be fucking high. Also consider the fact they have their own parade show here. And the military keeps bombing me, but there are no infected, so I don't get what the problem is. The sign here says no parking, but someone didn't see that, I guess. And why is there a parade float here to even begin with? Like, isn't there not like a storage place to keep these? Here's another off detail I noticed. If the parade float is required to cross over to the other side, and we know this because survivors have been through here, I mean there's a sign that literally shows that, who keeps putting the parade float back to where it starts? You know, I was starting to have faith in this painter. I really was. The tune being played by the parade is actually called "Oh When the Saints Go Marching In" by Louis Armstrong, another New Orleans native. You know, Val with the details. Funny enough, the teachers in my school used to make students sing this song for some reason. While I waited for the parade to do its thing, I grabbed some beer and I noticed you can actually see the alcohol inside the Molotov. Don't mind me invading the privacy of the residents here again. There are 2 paintings in here too. I have no clue where they're from. The people in this building all look like they were lined up. They probably would have all survived if they made it to this first aid. Wow, why didn't you just make a car with it? Like, let's talk. Why didn't you just make like a car with a damaged front bumper? Like, you could have just done one model and you could have used that for so many instances, but you just said, you know what, one is where we draw the line. This store has a 99-cent ATM fee on it, but no ATM on the inside. But they have electronics on the inside, but no electronic store sign on the outside. A different sign here says no bottles or glass are allowed on the streets. But so far, it really seems like the people here could care less because they have whole ass trash bags on the streets. The sign here says Gator Speakeasy. Okay, for historical context, speakeasies were illegal establishments that sold alcoholic beverages that were secretly hidden in regular looking locations, because at the time, these bars were illegal. So in order to cover up, they put it in your everyday buildings with secret entrances for you to get to them. But using my free cam, I didn't find anything secretive. It kind of let me down. I also keep hearing someone whimpering. This actually scares me. What the fuck was that sound? Bro, those sounds are actually scary. Walking down this alleyway takes us to the last section of the quarter. There's not much to know here except the fact that I never knew you could enter this building. Calm down, calm down. Oh no, don't crash out. It's not that deep, bro. It's just someone painting someone putting the wrong fucking paint color on the wrong colored wall. Like, why are they even doing this? Why? See how this truck here has fallen over and there's a van up on this road? Yeah. Alright, just keep that in your mind for later. Let's head to the safe zone to see what's up. The bridge. After racing up, I looked for any writings on the wall and there were none. Does this mean that no one has ever made it to the safe zone yet? And possibly it explains why there are 8 medkits here rather than the standard 4. But at the same time, game wise, this is also the finale, so that is probably the reason why there's 8. Not probably, that's definitely the reason why there's 8. Leaving the safe zone, there are many things to note. The trailer that fell is now standing, the van became a truck. Unlike before, the flies that surround these zombies actually make a noise. This blue truck has blue tinted windows for some reason, and the person holding this walkie-talkie was not infected. Maybe he mentioned he was a carrier and was shot on sight. So then survivors did make it here. Now the bridge. The bridge is probably one of the most unique finales because it's the only Left 4 Dead 2 finale that doesn't have you bounded by an objective for rescue, like defending yourself from zombies while you wait for rescue to arrive or looking for gas cans to fill your car or generator. In the bridge, the rescue is already there, you just have to reach it. And for this level, I'm going to look at the bridge as a whole rather than breaking it up into segments, unless it's worth noting. Keeping to the right lane of the bridge will lead us to the Louisiana Naval Shipyard. That is where the rescue is and also obviously a military zone. There are also 2 fighter jets that constantly roam around the bridge for some reason. I guess maybe they're patrolling. There are military vehicles on the bridge, but they only appear to be on the upper level, probably as a safety tactic as everyone else is down below. But it seems this wasn't so effective as the ground beneath them broke, which probably messed up their whole strategy and got them infected. Weirdly enough, there are no infected body parts on the bridge itself. There is this one girl in the truck, but that's about it. You don't actually see any until you get to the naval shipyard. So this means military up top got overran, infected, and then all the zombies made their way to the naval shipyard. A lot of them did get shot, but they did manage to push through all the way to the helipad, meaning the military actually lost the fight and retreated. This explains why the infected body parts reached all the way to the helipad. There is also a lot of damage on the bridge, which I would assume was caused by fighter jets. I'd say they probably got word that the military up top got overrun, so in an effort they tried to execute the zombies. But what doesn't make sense about this is that if the fighter jets did shoot the bridge, then why are there no body piles on the bridge itself? It could be a developer oversight. I just don't have the full picture, and I mean it's all speculation at the end of the day anyways. Back to my boy coach. I've left him alone for a tad bit too long. We took a little stroll through the bridge and encountered a tank. Luckily, tank skipped leg day, so I ran by, bro. Maybe I should have given him the flyer we saw earlier. Anyways, I safely reached the helipad and my boy Beethoven flew us to safety. I told him to take me to Dead Center next. If you guys haven't checked out my Dark Carnival analysis, feel free to do so. And like and subscribe for more. Comment down below any details I may have missed and correct me on any mistakes that I may have also made in this video too. And you guys take care of yourselves. You guys stay safe, stay blessed. It's Feo, and I'm out.